This video is in our supply and demand series. By the end of this video, you'll be able to predict changes to equilibrium price and quantity based on shifts to supply, to demand, or both. There's a four-step process to finding a new equilibrium. The first thing you want to do is draw demand and supply curves showing the market before the economic change took place. Step 2, determine whether the economic change being analyzed affects demand or supply. Step 3, determine whether the effect causes the new shift to be to the right or to the left, and then sketch the new demand or supply curve on the diagram. Step 4, identify the new equilibrium and then compare the original equilibrium price and quantity to the new equilibrium price and quantity. So, first thing we want to do is always just sketch a market that's humming along in equilibrium. We have a P star and a Q star here, orange supply curve, blue demand curve. We're ready to go. Now, suppose this is a normal good and that buyer's income rises. Pause the video and determine the shift. Step 2. Determine whether the economic change being analyzed affects demand or supply. Well, let's see. This is buyer's income, so it should be demand. Okay. Then, we're going to determine whether the effect on demand in this case causes the curve to shift to the right or to the left and sketch the new demand curve on the diagram. It's a normal good, so if income goes up, we're going to see demand increase. And now, we're going to sketch that new demand curve in. Finally, we're going to identify our new equilibrium, that's where our D2 curve intersects our supply curve, and compare the original equilibrium price and quantity to the new one. So our P2 price, our new price, is higher than our original price. Our new quantity is higher than our original quantity. So the price rose and the quantity rose. Let's try another one. Suppose that a technological innovation allows goods to be produced more easily. Pause the video and determine the likely shift. So, first things first, demand or supply? Well, technology making it easier to produce goods means we're going to see a supply shift. That's one of our supply shifters. Then, determine whether it's going to cause a shift to the left or to the right. Well, making it easier to produce goods means we're going to see that curve shift to the right. At every price, we can produce more goods and make the same profit. Now, we're going to identify the new equilibrium. We're going to see that our new price has fallen, but our quantity rose. Interesting. There are going to be some predictable changes. Now, I don't want you guys to memorize these because if you forget them, you can always just go ahead and sketch them out. But when demand increases, price will rise and quantity will rise. When demand decreases, the opposite will be true. Price will fall and quantity will fall. When supply increases, we just showed that price falls and quantity rises. But when supply decreases, the opposite's going to happen. Price will rise and quantity falls. What happens if there's more than one shift? Well, you're going to be able to determine one of the shifts, but not the other. Let's look at an example. Suppose we expect to see a price increase in the future. Well, if buyers expect prices to increase, they'll buy more today and less tomorrow. So that'll be an increase in demand. If sellers expect a price to increase in the future, sellers are going to decrease their supply. So we're going to see an increase in demand and a decrease in supply. Now, we're going to see that both supply and demand increasing agree. This is going to lead to an increase in price. But a demand increase says we're going to get a higher quantity. A supply decrease says we're going to get a lower quantity. That means that we can definitely agree that the price is going to rise, but we don't know which direction our quantity is going to shift in. as a quick review, what's the 4-step process to predict how economic conditions cause a change in supply, demand, and equilibrium? And what happens when there's a change to both supply and demand?